Hello, Internet. So, yeah, this video is going to be about my favorite games of 2021. I usually do like a top five format, but, sometimes there's not enough, to make that amount. So, this time, it's basically top three of last year because I basically spent a ton of time playing Final Fantasy XIV. So, I played it so much, I basically, just everything last year that came out, I got left behind for me because I didn't really play it or ended up playing it, recently or after the fact or the next year because it's currently, the end of March. I did just play through Guardians of the Galaxy. It didn't make the list though, so but I think I think that is like a direct consequence of having played Horizon Forbidden West. That was like really good. And then like, in my brain, it's like I'm not thinking how good is this game compared to games last year. I'm thinking like how good is it compared to like anything I've played at all. So it's like, anyway, that's that's not the only game that didn't make the list. Like Scarlet Nexus was good, but it wasn't, in my opinion, like the criteria basically for like, something I'm gonna say is like one of my favorite games of the year is basically when I'm playing through that year and I'm like, okay, this like I usually like make a mental note of like, okay, this is one of the best games I played this year, or like just this one really hits the spot, or like it goes like it hit like, the bar in my brain or in my mind of like, the quality of like where is it at and like where I believe something like that, like I would, say something about that, and like does it go beyond that threshold or not? So I mean, I didn't want to like mention the games I'm not like, giving, but too late. I just said it, so whatever. Anyway, so I'll start out with the obvious choice, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. That game is just, it's a collection of the Shepard trilogy, which is just one of the best, uh, in my opinion, like story arcs ever. I mean, yeah, it's got its, people have their critiques about it, but that's their opinion. I don't agree. So it's like I go back and play it, and I can play it over and over and just love it every time through, and it's a great fun time, and I've always enjoyed it. The combat, this well, past the first game. I mean, I'd say the first game's combat's bad. It's just, it's like I kind of wish the improvements that they'd made were kind of more like converting the first game into like, stuff from the next two games and like bringing that into the combat because the combat's like the weakest part in the first game, but the story and characters and just like setting the yeah, like the first game to me is like it set such a good foundation. I can just go back and play it over and over because it's just like you play that and you're just like I can't wait to play the second two games, and the second two games just like deliver, and it's just like so good. I mean, the third game kind of like falls short, but it's like only in like the regards of like, what I would have what I wished they would have did with the finale, or like stuff in the ending that didn't like that just didn't materialize for whatever reason. Um, but yeah, just I will always love that game, and like playing it again, it's great, and then going back to play it, and then it's got it's weird though because like, the PS5 version or the next gen upgrades, like those aren't out yet. So it really was just the PS4 version, but it's like still like, it's finally being able to have all three games in one collection, and then just like play through, and then I have to like switch discs and all that stuff, and quite good. And like the graphics are up to par, all the technical stuff, technical aspects as far as frame rate and textures, all the improvements, great stuff. Kind of a cop out because it is like one of my like favorite games to be like, oh yeah, Mass Effect. Like, why would I mean, they don't have multiplayer, so it's like, there's that, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not there for multiplayer. I'm there for the, amazing Bioware story that it was. The next game would be. Hold on, let me think, because like I had three in my brain. I know what the first like number one like the number one pick is. I'm trying to like remember this so I don't forget. Oh crap. Oh, Forza Horizon 5. Okay, that game was fantastic and fun, and just like it's like the only downside is like once you reach a certain point, all you're trying to do is like get the rest of the cars, but then it's like it's so not fun or easy to accumulate enough credits to keep doing that once you've gotten all the less expensive vehicles. It's kind of just like, okay, I've had my fun, and I'll just go play something else. But that being said, like when you're playing through the events and the showcases, they are a good experience and a fun time. And the soundtrack with well, depending on like what you're into, but like for me, I love drum and bass, and the fact that there's the dedicated Hospital Records station. That was just like, man, that was just it's a good combination. 'Cause you've got like the fast music, fast cars, and the fun driving, and then you've got like the amazing soundtrack on top, and like the giant open world, and then the different biomes. You've got like different areas of the map. You've got like forests, jungles, deserts, mountains, and then like different events that kind of lean into those different locations, like all the rally stuff in the dirt, in the mud, in the sand. And you've got all these like long point-to-point races that you do in the like the long highways and stuff. And it's just it really it really worked, and it really stands apart too from like the different racing games because you can, or just it just feels to me like it is it's like very Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2. Like it is like that. I guess more so Underground 2. Like it has like to me it's like the, I mean, I guess I'll say it's like whatever. It's like the perfect evolution of that formula of like, you don't have a menu, which is kind of funny because it's very like much a contrast of Gran Turismo. Like you don't have a menu that you're just picking the race from or the course from or whatever. I mean, you can do that, but it's like you're in an open world. You drive to the event with the car that you're in. You play the event with the car that you're in, or you pick something from your garage, and you just keep getting like a bigger and bigger collection of vehicles, and they all perform differently, and you can customize them. But then it's like the sim aspects of it are like not too much, but you can change that if you want to. Like you can turn on vehicle damage and like how it affects the driving. But then it's more of a arcade racer, so it's like not so much. And it's like such a like loose and fast controlling and playing game. It feels like a burnout, but then that's the other thing. It's like it's just like the fluidity of all the vehicles and like the controls and like just there are like minute differences like when you're changing car classes and stuff. 'Cause there's like some like really big like trucks you can drive and stuff. Then like they handle completely differently. And there's like rally stuff. There's classic style. There's muscle cars. It's all these different cars and all these different styles. And they all play differently and they all feel differently. It's really really cool. But then like beyond like the whole like single player stuff, as far as like there's like circuit, street racing, drag racing, dirt racing, point to point. It's called something else. I can't remember what it's called. Like the trail. I think trail racing. And then there's like really long like events like the Goliath and stuff. Those are fun. Just like super long races across the giant stretches of road on the map. Um, all the I said this already, but like all the showcases, those are cool. Like when you have to like race a plane, you get to like race a train. All these like really weird and over the top stuff, but it works and it's just silly. It's fun time. It's basically just like a giant, music festival. But then it's like not really a music festival. It's more like of a car racing festival celebration, whatever. But it works. And it's like located in Mexico, and it takes a bunch of those things from the not just like the environment and like being located there, but like also the culture, and kind of like sprinkles it in some of the game too, which is pretty cool. Um, because like a lot of the NPCs will like break into like Spanish sometimes, and like it'll be Well, I had subtitles on, so I could like knew what they were saying. So it's like that's kind of cool. And then like some of the radio stations are also in Spanish, I believe, which is pretty neat. So that's an interesting aspect. I was going to say something I completely forgot. I was like building towards something, and besides the single player event stuff, there's like also multiplayer stuff, which is also pretty fun. Because I usually don't jump into that stuff. But there's like the virus or infected game type where it's like tag the cars, or zombie where it's like you're a zombie. You tag the survivors, they're infected. You just like get down to the last one. There's like ones where you have to race against like really challenging drivatars, but then like if your team is able to have like a combined score that's higher, you win, which is nice. You don't always have to win. Or get like it's or you can just like have like people that really good carry you that just play the game all the time. Um, there's like a really interesting battle royale too. Like I'd never like it's like it's like it's kind of like I don't really play those types, so I've never really played a battle royale type game. So it's like to see it incorporated into a racing game. It's like kind of interesting to be like, okay, well, would they do this with this genre? And the way they do it is basically you just like match up with someone, and it's 1v1, and you just have a race from point A to point B. Someone's eliminated, and it just does that while the map is shrinking, and then eventually it, like crowns a winner. So that's pretty cool how they did that. But yeah, Forza Horizon 5, I thought it was pretty effing good, man. Like it's a fun time, and if you're into racing games, I definitely recommend it. Same thing with Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It's like that's the other thing. It's like for like stuff that's I'm gonna say is like one of my favorite games of the year. Is like if you're into that genre or that type of game, like if you like sci-fi or third-person shooters, or like games with like a lot of story and dialogue, And specifically for Bioware, it's like, dialogue trees and decisions and like the morality system of like, are you going to be Renegade or Paragon or somewhere in between, or how are you going to play that? But then also, specifically for Mass Effect, is like how the choices and consequences, they basically just like, you know, stuff happens and then you get to the third game and it's like, oh, it all comes to a head and it's like, what did you do? And like, how does it affect the Galactic War? Even though it's like kind of, yeah, I still feel it's kind of not 100% on like how that was executed, but it's still like, so few games do that. It's like there's not really a lot of stuff to compare to it. There's not a lot of precedent for to be like, oh man, so many games do the whole choice and consequence across multiple games, and you get to the, like, the last game, and it's like, oh. I mean, Total was kind of like that, but it was like self-contained like seasons as opposed to like, okay, not necessarily, because Walking Dead actually did do that, but like that's like one of the few. Cause I mean, yeah, I guess that's the thing with Telltale, right? Is like, they got shut down before they could like deliver on the other games that built up. Like Walking Dead is really like the only one where it's like, season 1, 2, and 3. I believe there's 3 seasons. First season, second season. Hold on. No, there's 4 seasons. First season, second season, New Frontier, final season. It takes like all your choices and consequences, and then just like has like a interesting way it like incorporates in the final season. But that's really like the only other one really, because all the other games that you have like the whole choice consequence thing are like, self-contained, like the single, like the one game. Like even the Witcher series, like it's really only about like what did you. I mean, you could say that's like kind of like a preference thing. Is like, would you like to have it be all in one game, or just like have it be like one game and then goes to the second game and third game, and then like at some point at the end, it's going to like take all your choices and then like have some sort of cumulative. This is what you chose, and these are the consequences, and this is how you're going to fill this in the game. That's such a cool thing to me that not a lot of games do. So, but I do enjoy games that do that, like even if it's in like just one game or across multiple games. Because there's like the Witcher stuff. Then there's the Wells Interactives has like a bunch of FMV style games that do that recently, where it's like you're just in real time doing choices across the board, and then like it's like yeah. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of like on rails, so it's like you're just making choices in the game. Doesn't really, it's an FMV game, so you don't really like do a lot of gameplay, but it's just like that one, the whole aspect of like choice and consequence. I do enjoy a lot in games, so not a lot of other games do that, and it's done really well in Mass Effect and Legendary Edition across those 3 games. Um, but yeah, I feel like that. Then you would like Mass Effect or sci-fi or effing third-person shooters or games with good stories and characters. It's like, there's a lot of like things you could pick to be like, okay, what would you like from this that like make you choose this? And then for Forza, it's basically just like for Forza, it's like, do you like racing games? And it's like, if you do, check it out because it's one of the best in my opinion. I mean, specifically arcade racers, because if it's not too simmy. You can play it simmy, but I wouldn't say the sim style would like be. Well, I guess I didn't play it sim style, so it's like, but I would say it's more of an arcade racer and it plays better as an arcade racer than sim style, even though you could do that. And then the third and final game, that was my favorite game of 2021 last year. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Yes, it's an expansion, so it's not really an entire game or whatever. But to me, it's like I got into Final Fantasy XIV last year in April during the PS5 beta test. So I played it from April until like January of this year, February of this year. I don't remember, but like whenever my sub ran out, and that was just that was the best time. And then like the expansion came out, I believe in December. I honestly don't remember. It's like November, December. It got delayed at some point. But it's just 8 years of story concluded, but yeah, 8 years of story. I believe the game had been out like at maybe 10 years or something, because they'd said like, the next 10 years of this adventure are coming soon. But it's just wild to me that was like the game like before A Realm Reborn was just like garbage, and they had to like kill it off, re and then like relaunch it, and it's like lore in the story of that, and that's just like you play that adventure of just like you were one of the Warriors of Light that was in the Calamity, but then you're brought forward and you're still in Eorzea. Stuff is still going down. I just enjoyed the entire thing, man. It's just from that to like there's stuff with Alamigo, and then you finally get to that with the. Well, for me, yeah, it's like it was such a like all-encompassing adventure. For like I played through all of it, because it's like effing I'm blanking on the name now. the expansion before Shadowbringers. Effing Oh wait, no, Heaven's Word, dude. Heaven's Word was, dude. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna talk about all of them. I can't help it because I played all of it. But like, Heaven's Word was just like so good, man. So good. Like Heaven's Word, I played that and I was like, dude, I should have. I want to punch myself in the face for not having played this because Heaven's Word was such a good expansion and like such a good adventure. Just like the Dragon Song War, it will always stick with me. Just also Final Fantasy 14 itself is just like my it's like now my favorite of the series because of all like I didn't know what it was going into it and it just like it did not just like meet my expectations. It didn't just exceed them. It just like like turned into like a flippin' spaceship and just like shot straight up into like the flippin' you know uh solar system now, and it's just like completely just decimated my expectations. It just I did not know what to expect, and it exceeded them at every expectation. Because I was like, I don't know what I'm getting into here, but everybody says it's awesome. I guess I'll play the beta. It did not look back, and it was man, it was just it's so effing good. And then Endwalker basically is just like the cherry on top, like end point for that entire story arc of Zodiac and Heidelin, and just I'm not gonna say what happens or like anything, but just can't be it cannot it's like it's to me without equal. It's like I played that game and I was like, dude, there's nothing else like this game out, and it's just I love it, and it's just I want to like if it wasn't effing subscription based, I would be playing it right now, but I don't have a sub right now, so because I'm not currently employed. But once that happens, I will be changing that for sure because it's got triple triad. I love triple triad. It's got this, I okay. I guess that's the other thing. I'd never played an MMO like super seriously, like gotten like super into it. Like I tried World of Warcraft back in the day. I played it a bit. I just like fell off. I was like, it's not for me. And then this I played, and it was on console, which was like much easier for me since I'm a console player or primarily a console player. So it's like you play with the controller, got into it, and like you're doing all these encounters and these dungeons with other people, and like that's once that clicks, dude, is that like you're in the world and you see other people, and it's just like full of like other actual people on the end of their like their characters. It's like, oh, that's an actual person. It's like that's it, and like whenever you go into any city, or when you go into Limsa Lemons and everybody's emoting, or you see like a bard on the street just like like bards are jamming out to like playing songs. It's like, dude, there's nothing else like this game. It is the best. It is so amazing, and it has like all the trappings of Final Fantasy. You've got Moogles, Chocobos, effing materia, effing all the different classes from like all the well, not all the classes from all the games, but it's like you've got so many classes from like classic Final Fantasies, and it's such a good time, such a fun time. Dragoons, samurai ninjas, summoners, black mages, white mages, red mages. It's so good. It's so good. It's just like I played it. I was like, dude, I can't believe I've been missing out on this for so long. But it's so easy to get into if you just stick to the MSQ and just like blow through it and just like I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks to have to like level up like all the other classes if you want to play them, which and all of them are worth playing. And it's just like and then yeah, just you get to that final battle, or like the final like well, that's the other thing is about like in Walker, dude. It's kind of slow at the beginning, but once it picks up, and it's just like there's just like lore drop, story drop, lore drop, story drop, character stuff, character stuff, character stuff. It's just like it's so good from just like all the stuff it's built up over the years, and just like the payoffs, and it's just like you get to the very, or you get like to like the last few in like parts of the end, just like it just yeah, just like such a good like you get to the apex or the pinnacle, and it's just like it keeps going, and it's just like it's just like keep it's like this can't you're like yeah you can't you're like how does the game going to top itself next, how is it going to top itself next, and it doesn't stop doing that, and it's just like effing is like so good at the end, and you're just like that is the best game I've ever played in my life. There's nothing else like this. I love Final Fantasy 14. F the haters. I don't care what they say. Like anybody says anything bad about this game, like okay, that's a critique, whatever. I don't care. It's like good for them. Like just Final Fantasy 14 blew me away. Just Endwalker, those last sections, dude. Just like the things you do, it's like I'm doing something so effing insane, and I've never done this ever in a game in my life, and I probably never effing will. And it's just like I just want to talk to someone else that's played it, because it's like you just won't get it unless you've played it. And it's just like it's like you can't put it into words, and it's so awesome. And then that's the other thing about Endwalker. They the one great thing they did about that was that they expanded the trust system. I believe it's the trust system, where you can just like. So usually when you matchmake, right, in the queue times, it's like, oh, I gotta wait. But now it's like, oh, you can just go into whatever, and then you can just pick AI controlled NPCs, so you don't have to wait in a queue, which is like the least like yeah, that's like the worst part about the game, is just like having to wait in queues to like do stuff because everything is queue timed. Because you had to like jump in the queue and be like, okay, well I'm gonna play DPS or healer or tank or whatever, and then well, I mean, it depends on the class that you are. It's like or your role rather. It's not gonna be so long if you're a healer or a tank, but DPS, yeah, I play DPS, so it's like bummer. But then with the trust system, it's like you can just jump straight in and be like, let's play with effing NPCs, and then the NPCs are the ones from the story and the characters that you've been with, like effing the Scions. So that's pretty effing awesome that they were able to incorporate that and it works. And there's different dialogue too, so there's kind of an incentive to like go back through and play with like different NPCs through different encounters to see what they say about stuff. And man, it is just it was the best time. It was the best time. And then the soundtrack's awesome because Shojin, or not Shojin, Soiken. I'm sorry, I got his name wrong. Soiken. But yeah, dude, Yoshi P is the man, and I can't wait for 16. This experience, my experience with 14 has got me so hyped for 16 because I was like, dude, they did such a good job with 14 and like across the board with all the expansions. That effing I am so hyped for 16 right now because it's just like same. I believe the same director is like on that game, so it's just yeah. I already know it's gonna be good because it's like just if you've played 14 rather, you've played 14, and there's just like so many like flourishes and touches of just like fan service. Oh, it's so good. I can't put it, I can't say enough good things about Fantasy 14 because it's just so good. And then like all the different expansions. Um, Stormbringers, wasn't that this? It's like Heaven's Word, Stormbringers, Shadow, or damn, Shadowbringers, not Storm. What's this? I can't think of the flippin' Doma one. Like it's like effing I'll look it up real quick. Hold up. But yeah, that's just like the way it all comes together. You've got Heaven's Word. You've got effing the one after that, and then Shadowbringers, and then Endwalker. Endwalker's so good. I'm looking it up. Sorry, I don't want to get it wrong. XIV expansions. I can't believe I'm reading the name. Stormblood. Okay, and you had Storm in the name. But yeah, Heaven's Word, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker. So good. But yeah, man, just if you haven't played Final Fantasy 14 and you're a fan of Final Fantasy, you need to play that game. And then just like there is like a bit of a hump you have to get over, in my opinion, in Realm Reborn. But like once you get over the hump in Realm Reborn, if you get through Realm Reborn, you're good, dude. Because like Heaven's Word is like, or just it's another like just straight up just like dude that like the main scenario quest for that is so effing good. Like just the way it ties into the story and just like it's like it's a self-contained thing and it's like it actually feels like an actual thing or like expansion. I mean the other ones don't. I mean I don't know. To me it just felt like super focused. So it's like playing the other ones. It kind of just like it just keeps going like as far as like building the story up and like it goes up, but like it never goes down. So it's kind of weird. But then it's also good because it's just like, dude, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And so like, it never stops delivering. And it's just like once you get to Shadowbringers, and it's like that's also like a pew as well. I mean, I guess like the thing about Stormblood and Shadowbringers are kind of slow at the beginning. Same thing with Endwalker, but it's like Shadowbringers are like Heaven's Word is like straight up, and the other ones are kind of slow at the beginning and they go up. But it's like, man, yeah, Final Fantasy Endwalker. I love Final Fantasy 14 now, and then Endwalker was just such a good conclusion to the story arc. So it's great stuff. Great stuff. Fantastic. And it has me looking forward to playing more of it. But that's the thing is like I think it's such a the only downside is it is such a time sink and it kind of like takes away from like your time playing other games. Like this is what happened to me. Like I played so much time playing Final Fantasy 14. Like that's why I don't have like a lot of other games. Last year I was like, oh man, that was so good because I didn't play that many. I mean, yeah, I can say easily I didn't really play that many other games compared to the years before when I wasn't playing 14. But I still play a lot, but that's because other reasons. Anywho, those are my favorite games of last year. So Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Forza Horizon 5, and Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker. I guess that's, yeah, the only bummer parts about Endwalker. Like, you have to get through all of the other expansions to play it, and you can't just, like, start at Endwalker. I want to play through that. It's like, I mean, but that to me is like you can't like it's like that makes sense because like if you don't do that, you're not gonna have any of the context for the characters or the story or what's going on. So it's like you kind of need all that. But then that's also what makes it so good. And like the bummer part about it being a subscription, so you have to like pay, and it's like, oh, bummer. So, I mean, that being said, you could, if you like, I mean, you could get through it probably if you like just do it on a 30-day trial, maybe, or just like with like a couple months of subscription time. But like, you'd only be able to like pick one class probably, and then you're kind of just like stuck. So I would say like, if you want to like use like one free trial to like see what class you like, and then once you're actually paying for it, or like if you can like somehow get like more than one free trial or whatever, just play it once to see like what class you like, and then once you're like committed and you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this, stick to that class all the way through, and play the MSQ and all the role quests and stuff, and then enjoy the ride because it is the best, easily, yeah. Just I was saying like it's my first MMO since like I'd never experienced all that stuff before as far as like playing with all those yeah, just different, like so many different people in different encounters. And then when you're playing like the alliance raids and it's like 24, or are they 24 player? Well, there's like some that are eight player mini raids, and then there's like the 24 player alliance raids. Those are pretty awesome. So it's like I'd never done anything like that. I mean, kind of in Destiny, but then like after, dude, I guess this will be an addendum, but like effing yeah, dude. My time with Final Fantasy 14 made me just be like, dude, why am I wasting time with Destiny? It's like it's not even close. Like it's such a like it's yeah. It's like I've nothing good to say about that game now because my time with Final Fantasy 14 is just like it's like real MMO, wannabe MMO. That's the difference. It's like easily not even close. So just like I haven't played that game. I played it a bit after Witchqueen came out, but then like I didn't spend any money on it, and I'm like I can't get access to anything without buying the expansion. I'm like, not gonna waste my money because been there, done that, better 1,000 times over in Final Fantasy 14. So thank you for that, Final Fantasy 14. Made me quit and never come back to the. I'm not gonna say, but yeah, if you've watched the channel Tekkens, that one, I can't think of the word now, but yeah, that feeling I get or how I feel about that game now is definitely influenced by Final Fantasy 14. But yeah, that's three favorite games, or my favorite games of 2021. If I ever do play some more and I'm like, oh, this is from 2021, I guess I'll add the other two to the three I just did. I might update this. I mean, Saga Frontier Remastered was really good too. It's definitely an honorable mention on that one. All the quality of life improvements on that one make it really fun. If you like JRPGs, for sure, check it out. Or old school 90 JRPGs specifically. But yeah, thinking nothing else from last year really. I mean, I didn't play Ratchet. I didn't play Returnal, so it's like, not for me. So those aren't on there. I tried to play some stuff on Game Pass. I just didn't get around to it. Like, I played. Man, I said I didn't want to do this at the beginning. Whatever. I didn't want to like talk about the games I played that I'm not awarding, but Shadow something. There was like some pixel art style game. I downloaded Sable. I didn't play it though, so I'm not sure if it's up there. There's a lot of there's like on Game Pass. I was thinking about like trying to play through a bunch of 2021 stuff. I just didn't get around to it. So if I ever get around to it, and I'm like, oh, these games are actually like really good too, I might update this, but I probably won't because it's like I never really come back to these and like amend them. So that's like my favorite games of 2021. I actually had three. I think one video I did one year I had like one. So it's like at some point I was like, dude, I have like. I'm like, crap, I have like no, or like I want to do like a bare minimum of 5 every year, but it's like that doesn't always happen. So it's like, it doesn't always happen. That's what I tried to say there. And this was one of those years. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there. So feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share it with your friends or not. That's cool too. And until you see or hear from me again, thanks for watching, and I'm now signing off.